Inside GP, you can do the same thing inside Business Central, but inside GP, what we have is, oops, let me just pop this up here. We have the transfer and the in-transit transfer. The difference between those is that in-transit transfers are ones that you move from a site onto a truck, wait 5 days, and transfer it into the next warehouse. So for instance, I have a warehouse in Vancouver, and I have one in Chicago. When I load in Vancouver, I transfer it out to the truck. The truck then takes 3 days to get to Chicago, and then when I unload it, I put it back in. So that's what the in-transit transfer is in GP. And then the transfer entry is the direct transfer itself. So, and it is under transfer. So inside here, what we do is it's a transfer order. So we've got it transferring from north to south. If I put an in-transit transfer site inside here, it becomes an in-transit. So they have one screen, whereas GP has two. And then from here, we've got the 5 items being moved from north to south. And then what's the date of the shipment and things like that. Coming from what? If I go show more, it gives me an address, so I can put that on documentation, so I can actually do a printout. So I've got pieces of information. So there it is there. Inbound hop, and then I've got some electronic information which may be used, especially if you use 3PLs. This is quite helpful to have some extra numbers and things like that attached to it. As I go through the posting routine inside here, if I preview the posting, I can take a look at this and it will be pulling it, and we go like so. And then there's my GL entry. It's got a number of ins and outs, coming out, going in, coming out, going in. So it's doing a roundabout way of doing it, but it does actually do the in-transit transfer so that it's all done. So there it is there. Okay, so that's the transfer screen. And so we've got both transfer and in-transit transfer on the same place. You can then set up an in-transit code if you wish as such. When I go into my site inside here, if I go into show details for south, inside here, you can use it as an in-transit inside here. So if I was to clear this out at this point, that's fine. And we go save. So then if I was to go to my location cards, I could check my locations. And if I go to my in-transit site inside here, or like so, in transit, we would set up in transit, and we would mark it as an in-transit site. And then area code, where is it? Again, is it going to another warehouse that you may have issues with, or is the example most of the time you set them up like this? I'm not going to say that. This is just basically a truck. So there it is there. I'm going to leave everything else the way it is, and we go save. And now when I go back to here, I now have an in-transit site. Come on. Take off that there. And then I have to fill in my in-transit code, and now my in-transit site is here. So we'll feed it through the in-transit site. So that way I've got the ability to say whether it's a direct transfer, in other words, north to south. It could be that you've got 2 warehouses side by side and there is no truck. It could be that you've got different areas. You could have a bonded part of your warehouse and an unbonded part of your warehouse, and you need to do a transfer from the bonded into the unbonded as you clear customs through it, and you pay your duties and your tariffs and your duties on that, and any taxes, and that way you can then do that with a direct transfer rather than having to go through the in-transit one. So that's what you've got inside here. Again, you've got increase and decreases, how many shipped, how many received, and things like that. So that's what the in-transit transfer does.